So first off, Alison, thank you very much for being here and taking time out of your busy day to come and speak to us on what is now, I guess, the third day that we are in Turkey, or second day or third day, depending how your time zone works. And it's really great that we can speak to you because essentially, Inmarsat and yourself, we've been partners now for 23 years. Can you believe it? And so it'd be wonderful to find out from you your personal perspectives and that of course of Inmarsat of the relationship and how that has formed over the years.
Yeah, thanks, Tobias, and it's great to have the opportunity to talk to you and be part of your sort of new adventure that you're launching as well. And yes, you talk about Turkey and gosh, what devastation, and I'm sure we'll pick up on it later as well, but it's so warming for us at Inmarsat to know that TSF is down there and already deployed and doing the marvellous work that they do. So for me and the partnership from Inmarsat's perspective with TSF, we're hugely proud to have been TSF's first satellite communications partner. In fact, this is what I was given when I came for the 20th anniversary celebrations. And as you say, it's 23 years in July. When we were formed, Inmarsat was formed in 1979 by the International Maritime Organization, really with a focus to protect lives at sea. And working with TSF and that partnership, it's a natural extension of what we've done. And it's about saving lives when it matters most. And what we do is with TSF, it's about sharing a vision to do good. And what we do with the technology, with the TSF expertise, because they have such ingrained expertise, then that combination really works well to help people. So the maritime safety, the aviation safety that we do, and then what we do with TSF, helping save millions of lives on land as well, is really very important for us. I think for me personally, I've been at Inmarsat for nearly 24 years this month, and I've worked with TSF for 20 of those years, or actually even a little bit longer. And what they've done and how they've done it, we take it for granted that we have seamless connectivity, and life shows us that we don't. And therefore, the reliance that we place on TSF and others place on TSF is wonderful. And I think sort of the people I work with at Inmarsat absolutely see how passionate I am, and how we've worked with Monique and Jean-Francois for so many years, and are hugely proud of what they do. And I feel immensely grateful to know them and know the work that they do.
And of course, it's wonderful for you to say that. Thank you. And for us, equally, it's a wonderful relationship. And I guess, from when you first started, going back, you have your anniversary next month, or this month, don't you? In February, your 24th anniversary. But obviously, Inmarsat, as you said, has been working at the kind of cutting edge of should we say, humanitarian response, disaster response, since the very beginning. And is that a role that you've always seen as I guess it is very much the kind of the essence of what Inmarsat is, isn't it? Really, it's being there when no other possibility of communication is present.
Yeah, that's a really good point actually, and partnering with NGOs and working with these sort of corporate NGOs has been really important for us, and it's something that we've done for many years. And it's at the heart of Inmarsat, we're driven by purpose, and that purpose is to connect the world for good. Whether it's protecting lives, it's helping businesses, organisations grow in a sustainable way, but really bringing about positive change for that. And that sense of being able to work, having that connectivity can be a matter of life or death. That's what's kept me so focused and so passionate about what I do at Inmarsat, but it's right across the organisation as well. So aside from TSF, then we've also worked with it's an organisation called REACT, which is formerly Team Rubicon, and that's made up of, it's a UK charity with primarily military veterans and they rapidly deploy across the globe in the response to natural disasters. So, with TSF, we help them with airtime and support on monetary side as well, and with helping them understand about technology and the new areas that are coming. With React, what we've done is we've supported them with equipment, but also importantly with employees who can train and be part of that mobilisation as well, because we have a significant veterans association within Inmarsat as well. It's one of our networks, and it's very important for us that we can keep them in touch and help, as well as working for the organisation, help them feel that they're really contributing as well. And that opportunity for people to support React is open to all employees. And they're using, a bit like Telecoms Sans Frontier, they're using BGAN, they're using ISAT Phone 2, and they're using Global Express as well. The other areas that we get involved in, because it's important that we look across the whole, is we've done something recently with pledging airtime for Partner to Connect Coalition, which was launched by the International Telecommunications Union, the ITU, and that's for use by developing nations for emergency telecommunication support. So we try and look across lots of different organisations to try and make sure that we're partnering with the people who need our expertise in connectivity to help deliver what they can for those that need it at that time.
I mean, as a veteran myself, I must say I think what you're doing with React is fantastic, and I know that when service leavers leave, when you leave the army or any one of the three arms, you feel that you want to continue giving, and I think actually it's a perfect relationship, I think, and one that obviously TSF shares. And so, I mean, clearly, talking about technology, in the early days, the MSS was used, your mobile satellite systems were used, and then as we've moved through the years, we've taken on the GX, and I mean, obviously, technology is moving so rapidly at the moment. So, how do you see Inmarsat's technologies interacting with today's kind of events and world?
Yeah, so I think it's a really good question, and actually something that we've talked a lot about to TSF is how technology and innovation has really changed, and it's really been able to benefit those users. So you talk about, the natural disasters. When we first started working with TSF, and that was in Macedonia, sort of during the Bosnian War, and then tsunami, earthquakes, floods. So it's very important as a company that's innovating that an organisation like TSF can also benefit. So when we first started working with them, it was Mini M, which was sort of a handheld, but it was a very old style handheld. It was our BGAN units and the first version of our handheld satellite phone. And now TSF uses ISAT Phone 2, which is a more modern phone, but also importantly, the Global Express broadband service. And I know when I was at the TSF 20th celebration activities, they were demonstrating that and sharing with the partners who were there what a game changer it's been for them. And they first used it in 2017 when it was the hurricanes, or a couple of hurricanes in the Caribbean. And what it enabled TSF to do is, just because of that sheer scale of disaster, they set up a pilot scheme which they've then rolled out in other locations, where they could move from village to village, but actually set up a high-speed Wi-Fi via our Global Express service. And they set up like a GX mesh Wi-Fi network, so that the villagers were able to use their own technology, their own smartphones or phones, to be able to then benefit from that high-speed Global Express capability from one terminal, benefiting many, many more people. And that's so critical when they've got to be able to let people know they're still okay, that they're alive, what the situation is, and for the local community, the organisations there as well, whether it's other NGOs, whether it's the local government down there. They need to be able to connect, and that's what TSF can do using our connectivity. So amazing. And as we innovate at Inmarsat, we look forward to always having TSF able to be one of those first organisations that can respond and test and trial as well, because that feedback for us is invaluable.
Just kind of going actually back a step, back to kind of related to my first question to you. I mean, can you talk about how the relationship between TSF and Inmarsat first developed? Can you tell me the origin story of that relationship?
Um, Gosh, well, that is going back quite a long time, isn't it? So it developed because we heard about them, they came to see us, and it's always been Monique and Jean-Francois. So we've had that enduring continuity. And as we've had changes in Inmarsat, that commitment to what they do and how we can work with them to do good has always prevailed. And through all different management changes that we've had at Inmarsat, there's never been any waver in the expectation that we can support TSF, because doing good together, having that connectivity is really important, and that's what it's the best of both worlds for both of us, and it's helping others, and it's that doing good, it runs through Inmarsat's veins: safety, security, that seamless connectivity, which is what we then are able to work with TSF for them to help others as well.
I mean, I think as we can see what's happening in Turkey now, and gosh, I mean, like in the last few years, clearly climate change is on the agenda, and it's so visible, and the effect on our planet is uncalculable. How do you see what's your vision of sort of satellite comms and how they will start to address these challenges that we're having? The world is in a very strange place at the moment, and I guess Inmarsat's in a really wonderful position to be able to help.
Yeah, it's a really good question, and how can satellite communications help with sustainability? And we commissioned a report recently called "Can Space Save the Planet?" It's on our website. And we did that work through a company called Globant, which is a significant world-leading sustainability consultant. And what they did is they worked with us, lots of different interviews, but it was absolutely fascinating, because what it shows is that satellite-enabled technologies today are already helping saving CO2 emissions by 1.5 billion tonnes every year, which is the equivalent annual carbon output of not only the UK, but France and Germany combined. So when you think about it like that, it's pretty amazing. And if we were, one of the things we're trying to get across in our messaging is that if current and developing technologies could be universally adopted across agriculture, forestry, land use, transportation, logistics, and energy systems, so all that type of industry, then that figure could rise to an astonishing, so from 1.5 billion tonnes to astonishing nearly 9 billion tonnes. So if you play that forward, then you could have a significant impact on the net zero 2050 goals by bringing them forward by 10 years. And that's absolutely astounding. I mean, it's almost mind-blowing to me to be able to think about it. And satellite communications can do so much to help that. So, a couple of examples might be if it's helping combat environmentally unsustainable fishing, including illegal and unreported fishing, then we can help look at that. We work with a lot of companies already with our Fleet One vessel monitoring system, and they can look at catches and see the areas to make sure that they're not in the fishing areas where they shouldn't be. Early warning systems for tsunamis. I mean, we've been doing that for years, but that's so important as well. Or IoT systems, really important through our Elira network, which is such a reliable network, but that's what people need. And whether it's farmers with crop yields, the irrigation systems, and looking at energy costs as well. So I do think we might not have thought it several years ago, but I do think after all this research has come through, that actually satellite communications can play a significant impact. It's not just Inmarsat, it's the community as a whole, and this is what we're pushing for as well. We're very active through our Chief Executive Officer, CEO Rajiv Suri, in the United Nations Broadband Commission, and he is really passionate and vocal about this sustainability and what can the industry do, because that can really help others. So that's important for us. We're also involved in the Edison Alliance's 1 Billion Lives Challenge, and that's how do you improve across the whole environment. So what can you do there? And we genuinely believe that with what we do, the connectivity that we have, we can make a real contribution to all those people who need that connectivity, that seamless connectivity that you and I take for granted. So it's just a few of the examples that we can do. And there's more perhaps we haven't even thought of yet. And that's innovation. And but if we can do our bit to support everyone, life on Earth, to improve it, connect it, that's absolutely a message that we're banging the drum on here.
I couldn't agree more with you. And one of the things that's just I was thinking about was again goes back to the fast-paced technology and the changes that we're going through. I mean, can you share with us any should we say new projects that you're working on that are sort of essentially keeping you at the cutting edge of the telecoms communication industry?
Well, the teams are always looking at opportunities for innovation and everything. The most exciting thing that we've got coming up is that we are launching our Inmarsat 6 F2 satellite next week. So that's really exciting. That is just we've got one of them in it's launched and it's going through all its final testing now for commercial service very soon. And then the second one, I mean, they are the most sophisticated commercial satellites ever launched. And what we can do from that, new solutions that we're looking at, new types of products that we will be able to use off it, really important. And we've got other satellites that are in the being developed as well and being built, and they'll all be being launched in the next sort of couple of years. So it's a hugely exciting time, and innovation is really key to what we do. We don't stand still. Change is norm, and change is good, and that's what we really focus on.
And I guess my last point really is going back to what you just said previously, talking about, I guess, the digital divide, digital quality. There's also this term digital equity. Do you have a viewpoint about how we can somehow become all more connected? Because despite the fact that, yes, you and I take these things for granted, as soon as we lose it, obviously we feel cut off. But there are still billions on the planet who have no access to broadband, who have no telephone, who literally still rely on getting getting on their bicycle maybe and cycling to another village to pass on a message. Yeah. Is Inmarsat, or how is Inmarsat helping with this gap that is still quite large?
Yeah, it is still quite large, and I think what the role that we're playing is certainly with this this study that we did recently, the report. So, can space help save the planet? Which sounds very grand, but it's based on a lot of fact, which is very helpful, I think, for everybody just to read and absorb. It's what can we do to help work with others? So, like the UN Broadband Commission. It's like the Edison Alliance 1 Billion Lives Challenge. It's working with the ITU. In maritime, for example, it's working with Crew Werfel, so those organisations, so that seafarers have that connectivity, because they're also a very underserved community who need those communications when you're out at sea for months on end. So we can't do it by ourselves, but we can certainly be a keen supporter of all the messages that goes out from many different types of organisations, and trying to influence and make sure that the message remains there, that it's the right thing, and it's good to make sure that that connectivity divide is narrowed, and that more people have that capability that we take for granted, as we just said, and how we can work with them and organisations to narrow that divide over a period of time. Certainly high in our focus, and what we want to do as a business to see how we can support.
Well, I think on that note, Alison, I think we can probably say thank you. On behalf of TSF, I say thank you, and everybody that you work with. We're big fans, and we couldn't do what we do without your help. So good luck in the future, and thank you for the support you offer us, especially now in this time when we're using your technology in Turkey as we speak to help those in need. And so, yeah, thank you very much.
Well, thank you as well. And it's a wonderful organisation as TSF. You have our whole company's admiration and love and best wishes for safety for your team and success for your missions that you go on, because Turkey is but one, and we know that. So thank you very much for taking the time to speak to me as well.